Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next answer copy of our Aspire for Agriculture test series. So today we are going to discuss the test 11, the copies of test 11. Sorry. So we have already discussed till test 10, and there are total 14 tests, and from test 9 we are discussing full tests. So today we are going to discuss the test 11, that is a full length test of paper 1. So we will see whatever the questions asked and how the student has approached this answer. And today we will be discussing the section A of test 11. Okay. And section B will be discussed in the next video, that is tomorrow. And I must say by analyzing these types of answer copies, it can be very helpful to you. You can learn various things. You can learn from the mistakes of the students. You can learn about the structure of the answers. You can learn how to introduce, how to conclude, how to write certain points in the body. So all these things can be very helpful, and this analysis of these copies can be very beneficial for you in your answer writing journey. And one thing I must add here, that I will be not reading all the answers line by line because it will consume a lot of time. So I will be discussing the important points, and my major focus will be on structure part. How the student is writing the answers, how he is structuring the answers. So that would be helpful to you. So let's start. So the first question is, give an account of agricultural practice affecting sustainability of natural resources. So basically, in the introduction part, the student has written about agricultural practices. Those are the activities performed by the farmers. These practices are from sowing to harvesting, sowing, land preparation, that is tilling, and other things are harvesting. So all these things will come under agriculture practices only. Now, how they can affect sustainability? Obviously, first practices are those practices that harm sustainability. Obviously, tillage, slashing, burn farming, inorganic fertilizers use, pesticides use, monocropping. So all these things can be these can be harming. Stubble burning, and I think this one has not written too much of example, which I have just mentioned. In the monocropping, the rice wheat systems in Punjab could be explained. Rice systems could be explained. In stubble burning, the Delhi case can be explained, how stubble burning is creating problem in Delhi. Okay, heavy mechanization, crop intervention. So all these things, you can see here the example has been mentioned. So all these things can be mentioned. Now you will see about practices that improve sustainability. Obviously, conservation or zero tillage, organic farming, cover crops, crop rotation, integrated pest management, green manuring, minimal use of heavy machines, crop diversification. So all these things can be used, and you can see in green manuring, the student has given examples of Bhaicha. So very good written answer, and you can see the structure. The student has divided the answer in two parts: one that affects sustainability and one that improves the sustainability. So very well written answer and one concluded answer. So if you want to read the answers, you can read it by pausing the video. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, what are non-timber based forest products and how do they help local communities in development in terms of economy and employment? So you all know, in the forest products can be divided to two parts. One is timber, that is wood products, and one is non-timber. So in non-timber, you can say it could be leaves, it could be nuts. Here, just I explained the leaves, nuts, fruits. So all these things will come in non-timber. Everything except for the timber products will come into non-timber. So how they can help in economic and livelihood development? Obviously, nuts, berries, mushrooms. These can be all be used as edible things. Okay, medicine such as Arjun bark, ashwagandha. These can be used as medicine development. I think whenever you're writing these types of point, and I think putting examples here are easy thing. So when you put examples, it enhances your answer. So please try to write examples such as in fiber, savai grass, and bamboo are mentioned to good animal origin, the skins of animal, nails of animals, honey, silk, all these things have some effect. Now, how these can be helpful in contributing to economy and employment of local people? Obviously, foods, Mogwai can do all these things, have great development in a great role in local markets. We can make value products such as BD from tendu leaves. Okay, handicrafts can be made. Lac is one other problem. I think case studies here you can see about how Balasore district Odisha has developed some kind of Jalai Kundheri. Okay, so this can be mentioned, medicinal plants can be mentioned, paper industry can be mentioned. Okay, essential oils, spices. So very well 10 points. You can pause and uh, read the answers if you want to. Again, when concluded. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is elaborate the strategy for increasing production of vegetable oil in India. So you all know that India is one of the largest importers of palm oil. Generally, it imports its palm oil from Indonesia. Indonesia. So how can it enhances its vegetable oil production? That is mentioned here. Obviously, we can diversify oilseed crops, expanding cultivation area. Okay, improving yields, optimizing processing, expanding palm oil cultivation. You can add here national mission on wild palm and wild seeds. And wild seed, this can be mentioned here. Okay. Increasing awareness, obviously, periodicity sunflower and prioritizing sunflower and palm oil. So all these things can be done. You can add some uh, government schemes here if you want to, such as National Wild Palm Mission, expansion of areas in wild palm, or especially in states such as Kerala, and all these things can be mentioned here. So well 10 points. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is give an account of the genesis of soil structure and its significance in crop production. So first of all, the student has uh, written about soil structure in the introduction part. He has defined the soil. His CEO has defined soil structure, that is arrangement of soil particles. Now genesis have been mentioned: temperature, organic matter, root growth, soil flora and fauna, cations, soil water content. So all these things have the role in soil structures. So these all things affect the formation of soil structures. Now steps have been mentioned: weathering, water action, leaching, soil profile development, dynamic equilibrium. So all these things help there. Significance have been mentioned: so water retention, stilling growth, nutrient availability, erosion resistance, air movements. All these are due to different soil structures. Different soil structures have different qualities, so you would know that. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is give a count of merits and demerits of nano fertilizers. So you all know what nano fertilizers, that operates at nano scale, that is 10 into 10 to the power minus 9. Now its merits and demerits have been mentioned, and you can see it should be written well. You can see in single flowchart the student has mentioned merits and demerits, so it should be clearly mentioned that this side is merits and this side is demerits, or you can first write merits then write demerits. These things can be kept in mind. Obviously in merits it improves soil quality, facilitates high nutrient use efficiency, controlled release, increase nutritional value, reduces loss and demand of fertilizers. So written points. And you can say demerits: potential toxicity, environmental pollution, accumulation, protein destabilization, pathogen attack. So all these things are demerits. And again, well concluded. And that is what we have mentioned here. That points should be written more clearly. You have just mixed merits and demerits together, and I think that could let you lose marks. So please take care of these things. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is explain the term crop diversification and discuss the contribution of high yielding short duration varieties in crop intensification and diversification in India, and also discuss the environmental impacts of high yielding short duration varieties. So the student had defined crop diversification, that is we are diversifying the crop. Suppose we are doing monocropping. Now from monocropping we are diversifying. We are growing different crops in different seasons. So this is what crop diversification is. Now how it can be helpful, how high yielding and short duration varieties can help in crop diversification and intensification. Obviously they will lead to increase yield. Examples of Jaya and Swarna has been given. Swarna, earlier generation of income. Obviously here also examples of varieties have been mentioned. It provides escape to pest and abiotic stress. The crops is tolerant to pests and diseases. Okay, suitable for diversification and bad land. So very good points have been mentioned. And one thing I must mention, you can see examples. Examples in every point have been written that give a great enhancing edge to your answer. So please try to write as much of examples as you know. Okay. So these are some of the points. You can simply pause and read it if you want to. These are demerits. Environmental impacts have been mentioned. Obviously, reduce genetic diversity, threat to traditional land races, soil quality could be affected, water table could affect, nutrient losses could be there. So these are demerits. Greenhouse gas emissions, high cost of input. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, what do you understand by agroecology and what does it helps in crop distribution and sustainable food production? So I think agroecology has been defined in the introduction part. You can read it. Now agroecology impact on crop distribution have been mentioned. That is, it increases crop diversity, improves soil health, reduce chemical inputs, increase resilience to climate change. So well written points. You can simply pause and read it. Examples have been mentioned: the ragi. Now, how it is helpful in sustainable food production? Obviously, it because it uses organic matter, enhances soil nutrient capacity, reduces damage to soil structure. You can see examples have been nicely used. Here, example of zero budget natural farming. Here, I think example of PUSA decomposers have been mentioned in emission reduction. So very well written points. I hope you understand it. And you can read it if you want to. You can simply pause and read the points. And I must highlight also here that a good use of examples. So that gives a edge to your answers. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, describe the good cultivation practices for short-term initial control of weeds in crops. So how can we control the weeds in short term? What are those good practices? Obviously, we can do puddling, we can do flooding before sowing, deep tillage, hand weeding, intercropping, mulching, flame weeding, biological control, use of tolerant. So these are fair points, but one thing which I have mentioned here, so you should focus more on environmental friendly and sustainable practices. Whenever you get questions of GAP, that is good agricultural practices, although there are various good agricultural practices that will enhance the production, reduce any kind of harmful effects, but if you add environmental friendly practices here, so that gives an edge. Because why we are shifting towards good agricultural practices? Because we want to keep agriculture sustainability, environmental friendly practices. So you highlight those points. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, discuss the package of practices of maize. So obviously maize is known as queen of cereals, which has been mentioned in the introduction part. Now package of practices have been mentioned: geographical distribution, climate, soil. So well written. Time of sowing, seed treatment, varieties. I think you should write varieties upper. Okay. In the initial 2-3 points mention varieties, but if it is mentioned lower also, I am not saying it is any wrong, but you should mention varieties upper parts. So the sweet corn, baby corn, dent wall, all things have been mentioned, and you can see various varieties names have been mentioned: Pusa hybrid, Inda 5, Shaktiman, and all the aspects of uh, package of practices have been mentioned: fertilizer, irrigation, harvesting, all the things have been mentioned, plant protection. So very well written points. You can simply pause and read it. And I think I have discussed all these things in answer writing practice videos and static videos. So if you have any problem there, you can refer those videos. It is just to give you idea, a brief idea of structure to how to write. Okay, what to write I have discussed in those things. How to write we are discussing here. Okay. The next question is, discuss the primary pathways of gaseous nitrogen losses from soil and the factors affecting nitrogen losses. So about nitrogen have been written in introduction part. Now pathways of gaseous losses have been mentioned, denitrification have been mentioned, leaching has been mentioned, volatilization have been mentioned, soil erosion and runoff have been mentioned, crop removal. Okay, all these things have been mentioned. Factors such as soil properties, fertilizers, rainfall, temperature, soil moisture, ground covers, all these things act as a factor. Methods all have also been mentioned to reduce it, such as you can use good coated fertilizers, that is neem coated urea, sulfur coated urea, Pythium. You can use biofertilizers, green manuring, crop protection. So all these things have been mentioned. You can simply pause and read it. Now the next question is, discuss the role of biofertilizers in success of integrated nutrient management and nutrient availability in India. So basically biofertilizers have been defined in introduction part, that is use of living organisms or biological organisms. Now role have been mentioned: obviously increase nutrient availability, improve soil structure, reduces use of chemical fertilizers, increase crop productivity, support sustainable agriculture. So very valuable points. Role have been again mentioned: nitrogen fixation, phosphorus fixation, zinc solar license. So you all know it. You can simply pause and read it. So that is all, and again well concluded. So this was section A of test 11, and in the next video we will be discussing the section B of test 11. So I hope you like the videos and you like these copies, and I think you have read the answers wherever you wanted. So this is all for today. If you like it, please press the like button. Please do share and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis, and if you like it, share, subscribe. It motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.